In this video I'm going to show you how to set up a basic gun, okay, that's going to fire a ray or raycast forwards from the end of the gun, and the way that the player will fire or shoot the gun will be by using a button that's on the UI on the screen here on the canvas. Okay, I'm also going to show how to shoot the gun by pressing a key on the keyboard, and how to shoot the gun using fire 1. Okay, good. So let's start off by having a look at what we have. What you're going to need is a player with a gun, and you're going to need some targets. Okay, these targets I've got here are just cubes, okay, that I've tagged target. Okay, so create a tag and make sure all of your targets, okay, are tagged target, and have a collider. Good. So next thing we need is a button. So create a canvas UI canvas, okay, and then right click on the canvas and create a button, and rename it shoot button. Good. And in the text of this button we can type shoot, and we can reposition it, put in this bottom right corner. Okay, there we go. Okay, so we have a button, but it doesn't actually do anything at the moment. Now, next thing we need to do is we need to have a look at this gun, right? Because the gun is going to need to fire. There'll be like a ray cast, a ray coming from the end of this gun forwards, and whatever it hits, if it hits something that is tagged target and has a collider attached to it as well, a collider tag target, yeah, okay, then it's going to destroy it, and it's going to instantiate or create some particles there, like a small explosion, okay, and also it's going to make a sound. So when you press the button, it's going to hear a sound, the gun firing, and then if it hits something, it's going to destroy what it hits and instantiate or create some particles at that hit point. Okay, good. So let's have a look at this gun here. Just have a regular gun model here, and at the end of the gun I've put a box, another cube. Okay, so get your model of your gun, right click, create a cube, position it at the end of the gun. Okay, and we need this this gun end, or the end of the gun, because this is what's going to hold the script, which is going to be the player gun script, okay, and enable the gun to shoot and work. So what we need to do is we need to create a script called player gun. So you go create C script and call it player gun, and drag that script onto the gun end. Okay, good. Okay, and I'll show you the script now, and we can have a look at what it does. So what it does is, first of all, it sets a range for the gun. Here it's a float, and this one is 100. Okay, you can set whatever range you want. And then it has a public game object, which are the particles that it's going to display at the hit point if what it hits, if the collider on that is tagged target. Okay, good. So next thing we have is a small public function here, which enables us, this public enables us to join it to our button, which is on the screen here. Okay, so this is going to be connected to this here, and all this does is when we press the button on the screen, it runs another function called shoot. Okay, and then it will send a message, a debug log, to the console to confirm that it has shot. Okay, that this gun has shot. Good. Now I've put here the word button here so that I know in this debug log that it was the shot originated from the button being pressed on the screen. Okay, so let's have a look now at this function shoot, which is not public because we don't need to access it from outside of this script, and see what it does. Okay, well, first of all, basically it gets the origin, alright, which is where this transform is. So it takes an origin, which is a vector 3 of the transform position, the position of the transform that this script is attached to, which in this case is the gun end. Okay. Good. And then we need a raycast hit, and I've called that hit. And then we said here if when we shoot our gun forwards out and it hits something within the range of, in this case, 100. Okay, what it's going to do is going to say, okay, if what we've hit, if the collider of that has the tag target, then we're going to instantiate or create some particles at the point that we hit at this rotation. Okay, quaternion identity. Good. Then it's going to destroy that game object. Okay, so it's quite straightforward, and you can take a screenshot of that if you want. And let's have a look. So what we need to do is, first of all, we're going to need some particles. Okay, so we're going to need to create some particles, which I did earlier. Okay, to save some time. To create particles, you can go create effects and particle here. Okay, and here's some particles. Alright, which I am going to drag into this script here. Play a gun on the gun end. Okay, good. So next thing we need to do is join up the button on the shoot button on this canvas here, so that it fires this gun. Okay, so let's go to the button, and here it says on click. Okay, hit plus there, and then we need to get the script. So the script's on the gun end, so we put the gun end in there. Then we're going to look for the script, it's play a gun. Then we're going to look for the function inside the script called shoot gun. Okay, great. So let's we can go file, save. Okay, and let's see what's happened. So here we've pressed play and I press shoot, and as you can see, I pressed the button here on the screen one time and it destroyed one cube, and it sends a message up here to say button shot. Okay, so this shot was derived from pressing this button, so it's 1, that's correct. Okay, press it again, it's shot another one. Okay, 2. If I hold this button down, it's not going to do anything. If as soon as I release it, it will shoot. So if I click it multiple times, okay, then I'll get multiple shots, and you can see this number here going up every time I click it. Okay, so we know that's working. But the thing is it'd be nice to have some sound. So let's just put some sound in there. So the way that generally do this is I create a sound manager. So create empty, call it sound manager. You can attach the sound directly to the gun, but I prefer to have a separate sound manager. Okay, because if I've got lots of guns and lots of sound, it's kind of nice and convenient to have them all in one place. Alright, but you don't have to. Great. So what we're going to need is we're going to need a gun sound. So let's have a look at this sound manager script first. Okay, and here we have okay, first thing this sound manager script is, which is a C script. Okay, is it needs a public audio source, which is the sound of the gun. All right, so that's going to go in there, and we've made this sound manager a public static instance, which means we can access these functions from other scripts. Okay, all right. So which we're going to do, we're going to get the gun. When we fire the gun, it's going to send a message over to this sound manager script, which is going to play the gun sound. Okay, great. So here we have in awake, it says, okay, this basically makes sure there's only one sound manager in the game. It says, okay, if this basically means if there's not already a sound manager in the scene, then use this one. But if there is one in the scene already, then just destroy this. Okay, so that just basically means there'll only be one sound manager in the scene at any one time. Okay, here we've got this public void, this public function gun player. Okay, and then when we run this function, it says gun player dot play. Okay, so this audio source is called gun player, and it will play this audio source. The next function we have is called gun player stop, and when we run this function, it will stop the gun player audio source from playing, and it's as simple as that. Okay, so again, that's a C script. Here got the sound manager, we've dragged that on. Now let's get our sound. Now you're going to need to find a sound of a gun shooting, and I found one earlier. So here on our sound manager, we go add component audio source. Okay, here open that up, drag your sound of your gun into that there, turn off play on awake. Okay, and maybe turn the volume down a bit. Okay, it depends how loud the sound is. Put this one at 0.5. Okay, and then we drag that into there. Okay, I'll drag that into there. All right, good. So next thing we need to do is we need to go back into our player gun and say, okay, when we run this function shoot, yeah, we need to make a sound. So here I have two lines of code. First one says, okay, go to the sound manager and turn off any gun sounds that are already playing. Okay, then play a new gun sound. Okay, and that basically means that you can only ever have one gun sound playing at any one time. If you don't do that, you may have a situation, if you've got a very long sounding gun noise, and you have like a machine gun, then you kind of like the sounds start overlapping each other and sounding a bit mushy. So what I tend to do is turn off any existing sound that's coming from that gun already, and then play a fresh gun sound in its place. Okay, so let's go file, save. Okay, so this here, this public, this instance gun player refers to this. Okay, good. So file, save, and we wait for that to update. And now when we shoot our gun, pressing this button, not only will it destroy this target, it will instantiate or create some particles. There'll be some particles there. Okay, and we're also going to hear a noise. Okay. Okay, so let's press play, and there we go. Okay, all right. I don't know if you can hear that. Let's have a look. I'll turn this up a little bit more. Let's try this. Okay, let's go. Okay, there you go. Right, so now I'll fire the gun. So I hear a sound, and it's destroyed. So that is working exactly as it should. All right. Great. Okay, so that's how to get your gun working with with a button. Alright, now just note that this gun end, you can just turn off the render of that, so you don't need to see the end of it. Alright, but while you're developing, it's nice to see exactly where that is. Great. So let's move to the next bit, which is how do we fire this gun, not using this button but by using a key on the keyboard. Okay, so the gun already fires and it works and everything's great. So all we need to do is, we need to set up a little way which says, okay, instead of running the function shoot by pressing this button, let's do it by pressing a key. So all we need to do really is we need in our gun player script or player gun script, in update, okay, you can say, right, if input get key down is key C, and you can have whatever one you want, okay, any key on your keyboard, if it's that C, then shoot. Okay, run this function shoot. Okay, I've chosen C because you've got like A and D is like left and right, WS is kind of up and down and forwards and back, and C is kind of like close to the D, right? Okay, so but you can put any key you want, but I'm just using C in this example. So here we're going to run this function shoot. So basically it says if someone presses the key C on a keyboard, it will then run this function shoot, which is exactly the same as what it does if we press the button. Alright, so again here I'm sending a message to the console over here, but this time instead of saying button shot, we'll say key shot, so that I know that the source of that shot was from the key. Alright, the key C. Great. So file and save that. So now what we're going to do is we're going to once this is updated, we're going to press the C key on the keyboard and see what happens. So press play. Okay, and just to show that it's working, we'll press this shoot first. Okay, that works. Let's press the C key on the keyboard, and that works as well. And you can see up here in the console it says, okay, the first one shot was from the button and the second shot was from the key. Well, that's correct. So I'll do the key again. Okay, now it says 2 from the key and 1 from the button. Well, that's correct. And there's the key, and it's finished. Alright, and you can keep pressing this key, or you can press the button and the key at the same time. Yeah, so they both work together. There's no conflict, and you got your mouse and you're clicking all over the screen here. It's not going to work unless you press this button or the C key or whatever key you want. Right, okay, now I'm going to move to the last way of doing this. So we know the gun works well, and we know that it works with a button and it works with a key that you've chosen on the keyboard. Now there is another way, and that's using Fire1. Okay, now Fire1's quite popular. If you go to Edit, Project Settings, Input, you'll see these axes. Alright, okay, and you have like a horizontal, vertical, Fire1, Fire2, Fire3. Okay, and like mouse, and you know, again here other ones, right, like submit and cancel and jump. And okay, so we're interested in Fire1. Fire1 is can be used as the fire button, all right, for the gun. Now here it says here it uses on the keyboard left control. Okay, so left control on a keyboard will be Fire1. All right, and it also uses mouse 0. Right, so that means there's 3 ways of using Fire1. Okay, so you can hear so there's 2 ways of doing this, right? One is by pressing left control, okay, on the keyboard, and the other one is by using your left mouse button. All right, okay, so let's have a look at our script. Now what we're going to do in update is say, right, if input get button down is Fire1, and you could put fire 2 or fire 3 in there, it's up to you. Shoot, and again send a message, this time say fire 1 shot. Okay, so now we have 3 ways. We have the button, pressing a key, or using the input get button down, fire 1 in this example. Okay, and again they all do the same thing, they're not doing anything different, they're just different ways of activating or running this function. Okay, great. So we'll go file save and have a look. So just wait for this to update, and we'll see what happens. Okay, so now when we press play, okay, as before, we're going to press here. I'll press the C key. Yep, so that works. So this key shot, back over on the keyboard, control left. Yeah, and you can see that's working. So here I've got the C key, 1 shot, fire 1 shot, there's 2. I'll press it again here. Yeah, it works. Alright. Now, there's a slight, maybe a problem, may not be a problem, it depends upon your game. Because we're using fire 1, here, if we press our shooting button, it's effectively shooting twice, which is once from the button and once from clicking on the screen. Okay, so we don't really want that. Alright, so what we can do is we can go into project settings, input, and if you remember I said to you, okay, in this fire 1 there's 2 ways of using it. One is that we use the left control on the keyboard, and the other one is the mouse 0. Okay, if we delete mouse 0, okay, then play the game. Okay, now, okay, if we press or click if we click the keyboard, nothing happens, right? So this button works, but because I've removed mouse 0 from the fire 1, okay, now if I click on this screen it doesn't fire using the left mouse or mouse 0 value over here in fire 1. Okay, good. Now the C still works, and so does the control. Okay, and we can go between all of them. They're all compatible with each other, so you can offer that it's not crashing. Okay, and it all works great. Okay, one last thing to say here. Okay, if you do want to have the function where people fire the gun using, like, by touching or clicking on the screen, then put mouse 0 back in, okay, and remove your button. Alright, good. So last thing I want to say is actually about this button itself. Sometimes you have like kind of like your button, you think, well, this button's not working properly, something's going on here. That may be because of something called navigation down here. You may be kind of unknowingly or moving around your screen using your keyboard, and that's when that happens, because sometimes when you want to move around the commands of the screen, like play and menu and things like that, you can use your keyboard to do that. Well, if that is the case, that you are having a problem with that and you don't want to have that feature, then you just set navigation to none. Okay, and then that way it doesn't matter what you press on your keyboard. The only way this is going to shoot is by you physically pressing this button. Alright, great. Okay, so that's the end of this video. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the channel and give a thumbs up if you like the video, and yeah, see you in the next video. Thank you.